Okay, so what if that strange feeling you get sometimes, that feeling that our world isn't quite real? What if that feeling isn't new? In this explainer, we're going to connect one of the biggest, most mind-bending ideas of today, the simulation hypothesis, to its shocking 2,000-year-old twin.
I mean, this is the big one, right? It's the question that has kept philosophers and physicists up at night for centuries. Is the reality that we see and touch, is it the only reality? Or could we be living inside something else entirely?
Come on, you know that feeling I'm talking about, right? That moment of super intense déjà vu, or a coincidence that's just a little too perfect. Or maybe just that sudden, weird sensation that the world around you feels a bit thin, like paper. Well, that feeling? That's exactly where we're going to start.
Okay, so fast forward to today. In our super high-tech world, that feeling has found a brand new home. And it's a home built by a really popular and frankly pretty startling idea, the simulation hypothesis.
So what is it? Well, the core idea is actually pretty simple, but its implications are, whoa. It suggests that everything we think we know, this room, your memories, even your own consciousness, it could all be just lines of code. We could be living in a super elaborate program, running on some massive cosmic computer, maybe built by a future civilization, or who knows, something else we can't even imagine.
Okay, but here's where things get really, really interesting. We tend to think of this as a brand new idea, right? Something born out of the computer age, like something straight out of the Matrix. But what if I told you the core idea, that our reality is a fake, a counterfeit, and that we're trapped inside it, is actually ancient, like really ancient?
So, let's go for a ride. We're heading way back in time, to the early centuries of the Common Era. And we're going to dive into this incredibly fascinating and diverse collection of religious movements, all bundled under one name, Gnosticism.
Now, the most important word you gotta know here is gnosis. It's a Greek word that means knowledge. But, and this is a huge but, the Gnostics weren't talking about book smarts or memorizing facts. No, for them, gnosis was like a lightning strike to the soul, a flash of insight, a revelation that didn't just teach you something, it fundamentally changed you, it set you free.
Just listen to this. This is from an ancient Gnostic text. It totally captures how they felt. It's this cry of cosmic confusion. They felt like aliens, like strangers in a strange land, asking these huge fundamental questions. How in the world did we get here, and what even is this place? And they actually had an answer to that question. And, well, it was a pretty dark one. They basically believed that our reality, it's not some beautiful divine gift. It's a divine prison, a mistake, something that was never supposed to exist in the first place.
So how did this prison get built? The story they told goes something like this. Far, far away, there's a true, perfect God living in this realm of pure light. But then, something goes wrong. A cosmic error, a glitch in the system. And from that glitch, a lesser, kind of flawed creator god emerges. They called him the Demiurge. And this guy, he's arrogant, he's ignorant, and he goes and builds our material world. But it's not a masterpiece. It's a janky, flawed copy. It's a prison made of matter, built by a bad programmer, and we're the ones trapped inside. And get this flawed creator wasn't working alone. Oh no. He had enforcers. They called them the Archons. You can think of them like cosmic prison guards or, I don't know, soulless bureaucrats. And their whole job was to manage the prison, to enforce these rigid rules of fate, and to make absolutely sure nobody started questioning the system, and more importantly, that nobody ever escaped.
Okay, let's just pause for a second. A flawed creator? A counterfeit reality? A true hidden world that's beyond our perception? Yeah, if this is starting to sound a little familiar, it absolutely should. Because the parallels between this ancient Gnostic map of reality and our modern simulation theory, they're almost perfect.
I mean, the parallels are they're stunning. Let's really break this down. The Gnostics talked about a flawed world, a prison. Simulation theory calls it a simulated reality. It's the exact same idea. Our world is an artificial trap. The Gnostics imagine this unknown God living in some perfect higher realm. Simulation theory calls that base reality, the real world where the simulators live. And what about the Gnostics' flawed creator, the Demiurge and his Archon guards? Well, that's just a perfect ancient blueprint for the programmers or a governing AI that's running the whole show. It's basically a one-to-one match. And it gets even crazier because the parallels go right down to how they thought about us, about the self. See, the Gnostics believed that our true essence was this divine spark of light, and that it was trapped inside a physical, fleshy body. Now think about that. That's basically an ancient version of a core idea in simulation theory, that our consciousness is just information, that your mind doesn't actually need a biological brain to exist. It could, in theory, just run on a computer chip. So in both of these worldviews, your physical body, it isn't the real you.
And in both systems, what's our default setting? Ignorance. Total ignorance. The Gnostics had a word for it, agnoia. It basically means a kind of spiritual amnesia, where we've completely forgotten our true origins. And that is the perfect ancient parallel to the famous Braden-Navat thought experiment, right? The absolutely terrifying idea that everything you see, hear, and feel is a complete illusion, and you don't even have a clue.
Okay, so if we're trapped in some kind of counterfeit reality, whether you want to call it a cosmic prison or a computer simulation, that leads to the next very logical question. How the heck do you get out?
Well, for the Gnostics, the escape plan didn't start with you. It couldn't. It had to begin with a call from the real reality, from beyond this world. It could be a message, a messenger, some kind of revelation. Basically, something that cuts through all the noise of this prison world and wakes up that divine spark that's been sleeping inside you.
And that awakening, that's just the start of a really dangerous journey home. First, you get that gnosis, that secret saving knowledge about who you really are and where you came from. Then, after death, your soul has to make this incredible ascent, trying to get past all those Archon guards at every level of the cosmos. It's like a cosmic video game, and only if you can get past all those gatekeepers can you finally reach liberation and return to that true realm of light. It's a full-on, high-stakes cosmic escape plan.
So what's our modern version of that call from beyond? Well, you could say that today scientists are basically looking for glitches in the matrix. I mean, think about the observer effect in quantum physics, this bizarre fact that reality on the tiniest scale seems to change just because we're looking at it. It's almost as if the simulation is only rendering the graphics when someone is there to see them. Or what about all the physicists who are now arguing that the universe at its most fundamental level isn't made of stuff, it's made of information, that the laws of physics are literally lines of code that we're just now trying to read?
So, at the end of the day, it's kind of amazing. Whether you're an ancient mystic waiting for a divine revelation or a modern physicist searching for the universe's source code, you're on the exact same quest. You're looking for the seams in our reality. You're hoping to find a crack just to get one tiny glimpse of whatever might be lying on the other side.
It really is a stunning thing to think about, the same basic idea popping up 2,000 years apart. So, whether we call it a cosmic prison built by a flawed god or a computer program running on some hyper-advanced hardware, it leaves us with the same huge question. If our world isn't the real one, what does that mean for us? How should we live?
Ultimately, I guess it all boils down to this one last, very personal question. If someone really offered you the choice, the red pill or the blue pill, the unsettling, maybe terrifying truth, or the comfortable illusion, what would you choose? Really? Would you take the red pill? I'll let you chew on that one. Thanks for joining me for this.